the tiny ant with a big dream. In a busy ant colony beneath a giant oak tree, there lived a tiny ant named Andy. Andy was smaller than all the other ants. In fact, many of his friends teased him and called him Little Andy. But Andy didn't mind. Why? Because Andy had a big dream. He wanted to be part of the Great Food Search, the special mission where the bravest ants traveled far beyond the colony to find food for the whole family. Only the strongest, fastest ants were allowed to join. "Why don't you just stay here and carry tiny crumbs?" said Bruno, the biggest ant in the colony. "You're too small for big adventures." Andy looked up and smiled. "Maybe I'm small, but my dream is big." Every day, while other ants played or rested, Andy practiced lifting small crumbs. He walked extra long paths to build his strength. Sometimes he tripped, sometimes he dropped things, but he always got up again. Then one day, the queen ant announced, "Tomorrow, we begin the Great Food Search. Only those ready for hard work may join." Andy's heart raced with excitement. This was his chance. The next morning, as the brave ant team gathered, Bruno looked at Andy and laughed. "You? Join us? You'll slow everyone down." But before the queen could speak, a loud noise filled the air. Boom, boom, boom. It was footsteps, human footsteps. Suddenly, a little boy ran into the field, jumping and stomping. The ground shook and disaster struck. Part of the path to the food was destroyed. The big ants panicked. "Now we'll never find the food. The path is ruined." But Andy noticed something the others didn't. Between the tall grass and fallen leaves was a tiny hidden trail just small enough for an ant like him to crawl through. Without waiting, Andy squeezed into the narrow passage. It was dark, filled with twists and turns, but Andy kept moving. Left, right, under the leaf. Finally, Andy peeked out from under a twig and saw a whole picnic basket filled with crumbs, fruits, and sweets. Enough to feed the colony for weeks. Andy quickly ran back to the others. "I found a new path. Follow me." At first, the big ants didn't believe him, but the queen said, "Let's trust him." With Andy leading the way, the ants crawled through the tiny trail. Step by step, they made it to the picnic basket. Everyone cheered. Bruno looked at Andy in surprise. "I guess size doesn't matter when you have a brave heart." From that day on, no one called him Little Andy anymore. He became known as Andy the Brave, the tiny ant with the biggest dream and the courage to make it come true. Moral of the story: no dream is too big when you believe in yourself and work hard to achieve it.
If you like this story, please like and subscribe to this channel, so you don't miss other interesting stories.